You're buying a new construction home and it's time to have your structural and design center appointments. And when you're there, you realize that some of these things are over your budget. So the first thing that comes to mind is, can you hire a general contractor or an outside contractor to do these upgrades after you close? In this video, I'm going to cover 5 things that you need to know before you go to those crucial appointments that will help you decide whether or not you should go the builder route or your contractor route after close. Before we get into the list, I want to first point out that any work that you do choose to have done by your own contractors can't commence until after you close escrow on that property. It never fails whenever I am in a transaction with a buyer in a new construction project. There are always questions that arise. Can I just have my guy come wire some extra lights? Can I just have my guy lay my flooring? Can I leave a suitcase in the garage? The answer is no. Definitively no. It will never be a yes because there's just too much liability. Remember, when you are asking yourself the question, builder or contractor, if you go the contractor route, you must wait until after you close escrow. Okay, let's get right to the list. The first thing that usually comes up is flooring. Everyone wants their own choice of flooring, and sometimes when you go to these design center appointments, there are a lot of options, but there are not every option there. The flooring usually comes into question. Now, you used to be able to close on a house bare floored, but not anymore. A lot of times what the builders do is they make you pay for the standard flooring, and then you have to wait till you close and your contractor comes in, demos it all, and then installs your new flooring. This can work great if it works in your timeline. Consider the fact that you are paying for flooring twice. Sometimes you still save money going the contractor route and paying for the base flooring in the house, but not everyone has the time or patience to deal with the demo and then the reinstallation of flooring. And as I'm sure you're well aware, there can be delays in construction as well. So sometimes this can delay your move-in a couple weeks to a month. Now, if you decide to go with the builder to purchase your flooring, then it's a very seamless turnkey transaction once your close date comes up. The second thing that usually comes into question are structural things that you want to change. And by structural, things that might change your walls or that you might have to go into the drywall for, such as lighting packages, extra can lights, ceiling fan, J-box, those things. Also, the large stackable sliding glass doors are now a huge option in new construction homes, and also fireplaces. These kinds of things I really think you should consider deeply on whether you want to use the builder or if you want to use your contractor. Now, if you use a contractor, it can involve changing the framing of the house, and it can cause a lot of problems. You're going to have permits pulled. You're going to have your general contractor cutting the walls of your home, so you probably won't be living there for a while. Also, can lights, if you get them installed by the builder, they're all wired and installed during the build process. Again, your home is finished and turnkey rather than an electrician coming in, cutting holes, pulling wires. Then you have to hire a drywall person to come in, repair the drywall, then the painter has to come in and paint. So as you can see, there's a lot of different things to weigh on whether you want to have the builder do it or not. It is very turnkey and much smoother when the builder does these things that affect the wall structure of your home or the framing structure. I've had clients tell me that they're not going to pay the extra $3,000 for all the can lights throughout the house. But when you think about the task of having them added after the house is complete, it seems very daunting, and it can be very daunting, and you're going to have to manage all of the subs or even your contractor and the work. So you're going to have to make your house available. So again, you cannot move in right away. So if your timeline doesn't permit, you probably are going to want to think heavily on having those upgrades done with the builder. I've also had clients that wrestle with putting in a fireplace or getting the standard fireplace first and then adding the long linear modern fireplace later with their own contractor. But I don't think most people realize how much work it entails when they're going to have to cut into the frame of your home. So the third thing that comes into question a lot are appliance packages. Some of these packages can be very costly, and yes, sometimes you can get your appliances for less money somewhere else. This is another thing you're going to have to do your homework on before you go. Because I also want to bring up a point that I didn't state earlier, and that is that when you go to these appointments, you will be expected to pay for your items then. You don't get an extra month or so to decide if you're going to use the builder's finishes or use your own contractor. Because once that design appointment is set, what you decide you're going to use is what you end up doing, because they need to order materials so that your house is completed in a timely fashion. Do your homework ahead of time. And appliances is one that's really easy to do because you can go to your local appliance stores and start pricing things, or you can even start looking online. Here in Las Vegas, we actually have a few places that you can go where they'll completely design your kitchen for you. But again, that's not necessarily the best route when doing a new construction home. The fourth thing that comes into question a lot is if you should use the builder's upgrades to design your bathroom surrounds. Again, I've seen a lot of my clients say, we'll get the standard tile that they install around the bathtubs and showers, and then we'll change it later. Something to consider when doing it yourself is a lot of people like to hire just a tile setter to redo the tile in the shower, or they'll choose to do it themselves. The problem with this is that most tile setters are not going to take the precautionary measures of waterproofing, and most homeowners themselves that are doing the project themselves don't necessarily know the precautionary measures they need to take when demoing a shower, because once the waterproof barrier is broken, it must be repaired correctly. And I have seen time and time again where a homeowner will hire a tile setter and they'll just demo the tile and replace it because they're not contractors and they don't make showers, and showers need to be made properly. It's not just drywall and then tile laid on top of it. Those are some things to consider when you're thinking about going with a general contractor outside of escrow to complete your bathrooms. The fifth thing that comes up a lot are accent walls and wine cellars. The reason why this comes up a lot is because a lot of people want those nice marble or stone or porcelain slabs around their fireplace surrounds. And it does make a really beautiful finish. There are also those wood panels that sometimes you can get added in the design center, but these are things that are completely cosmetic. So when we're talking about just cosmetic things, I think you can, and I have in my own experiences, reached my design goals in a much less expensive way than going with the builder. And a lot of times the design centers with the builders don't even offer these types of upgrades. A lot of builders do have the option of adding a wine room, but generally speaking, these are wine rooms and not cellars, so they're not temperature controlled. So if what you're looking for is a complete temperature controlled room, it's probably best off to do that outside of the design center because they don't even offer the refrigerated units most of the time. Okay, let's do a quick pop quiz. You are wanting to add those beautiful, oversized, stackable sliding glass doors to your new construction home. Is it better to do it through the builder or with your contractor once you close escrow? Comment builder or contractor in the comments below. I want to point out some things to remember before making your decision whether you'll go with the builder or a contractor after you close escrow. Remember, some post-construction upgrades can delay your move-in to your brand new home, and sometimes that delay can be months. I'm in a situation where I don't have a brand new construction home, but I did take a home down to its studs and remodeled it. And because I wanted to move in, I'm still living through some of that construction. Some of the final touches aren't so hard to live through, but things like changing out your bathroom finishes or changing your flooring, those things can be really difficult to live around, and they are definitely things that you're going to want to consider when weighing the decision. Another thing to remember when making your decision is that sometimes you can be saving upwards of tens of thousands of dollars if you do decide to close on your home and then do upgrades with a contractor afterwards. And lastly, just because you hire a general contractor to complete those upgrades, it doesn't mean that it doesn't take a lot of your time, effort, and stress level to make sure that the job is complete. There's always someone who's babysitting someone, and usually you're the babysitter of everyone. Okay guys, that is just the tip of the iceberg that I covered. There are so many other decisions to make, whether you want the builder to do it or your contractor to do it. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you're working with someone like myself who has a lot of experience. I've been through this process many times, and I understand the cost versus convenience when making these types of decisions. So if you'd like me to help you in your process, I know that it can seem to be very daunting, but I promise I can help make your experience much easier and smoother. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out, call, text, or email anytime. And for more videos about Las Vegas and Henderson, check out one of the videos around me on the screen. Don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified each time I drop a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.